Hi, it's me, Carrot Boo, and welcome to my closet. Yep, this is a closet. Doesn't really look like a closet. Really, it's just in a room. There's this big giant pole in the middle. It's not a pole, it's where the chimney runs through the whole house. So it kind of makes it hard to use as a room, and the ceilings are slanted, and it also gets really cold in here in the winter and really hot in the summer. So not really functional as a room, but we have a bunch of clothes in here and basically a bunch of junk that we just throw in here. Really need to clean up. I'm rambling. I'm sorry. Anyway, I'm Carrot Boo. I crochet. I am also postpartum, hence today's video. I recently had a little baby carrot in January 4th to be exact. And actually, she is with her Nona today, aka Grandma. So I have this opportunity and some little bit of time where I can film this video. Hi, it's me, Carrot Boo, and welcome to my closet. Yep, this is a closet. Doesn't really look like a closet. Really, it's just in a room. There's this big giant pole in the middle. It's not a pole, it's where the chimney runs through the whole house. So it kind of makes it hard to use as a room, and the ceilings are slanted, and it also gets really cold in here in the winter and really hot in the summer. So not really functional as a room, but we have a bunch of clothes in here and basically a bunch of junk that we just throw in here. Really need to clean up. I'm rambling. I'm sorry. Anyway, I'm Carrot Boo. I crochet. I am also postpartum, hence today's video. I recently had a little baby carrot in January 4th to be exact. And actually, she is with her Nona today, aka Grandma. So I have this opportunity and some little bit of time where I can film this video. I crochet, and before I had baby carrot, I crocheted every day. Your time is your time and you can do whatever you want. And I kind of thought very incorrectly that after having the baby, I would still have not just as much time, but like plenty of time that I could crochet and get things done as I wanted. But that is not the case. No. But today, like I said, she's with her Nona, and so I'm filming this video. And I'm also having a little glass of wine, and because baby carrot's not here and my partner is at work, so I'm just having a little bit of wine. And it's nothing fancy, if you want to know. It's called Woodbridge Fruitful Blends, which always makes me think of, have you ever watched Schitt's Creek? I love Schitt's Creek. Moira, who doesn't love fruit wine? I love fruit wine, and they make fun of it so hard in that show. I don't care. I love my fruit wine. I think this bottle was like $5. Bring it on. Bring it on. I'll take the $5 wine all day. So let me know what you're drinking. Are you also enjoying a glass of wine? Are you having a cup of coffee? Maybe you're just a water girl. Honestly, I don't drink enough water. So if that's what you're drinking, good for you. H2O. Gatorade. Sorry, I go on a lot of tangents. Which actually has another tangent. So that was Waterboy. Have you ever seen Happy Gilmore? I heard they were coming out with a Happy Gilmore 2. I think I heard that yesterday, not today. Today I'm filming. It is April 1st, and everything. I texted my partner. I'm staying off the internet for the rest of the day. I came across a post from a company that was like, you asked for it, and here it is. It was like a meat scented candle. And for 2 seconds, I thought it was real. Haven't been back online since. Anyway, postpartum and crochet. Right before I had the baby, but my mom asked me if I could make a blanket in time for May for friends of the family. No, not for their family, really. They got a new cabin, and she asked if I could do a blanket for them, and I was like really excited about it. And I found this really cool Grafghan that has mountains in the back, and it almost looks like it's on a lake, and their cabin's on a lake. And I've never done a Grafghan, and I think I could do it. And I was like, yes, I want to do this. And she said, well, you might not have time. I was like, I'll have time. Of course I'll have time. There's been no time. no time at all. And you know, the little time I do have, it's things that I don't have to think about too much. Certainly not a Grafgan where every stitch has to be very specific. So no Grafgan has started. If it ever happens, it's certainly not going to be done by May, because now May is next month, which is really insane to think about. Babykarrot's going to be 3 months old. Okay, so it's been 3 months, a little over 12 weeks. And what have I gotten done in that time? I'll tell you, not a whole lot. Not a whole lot has gotten done. In fact, I've only finished a handful of things. Let me see. I think I've got most of the stuff that I've worked on surrounding me right now. Okay, so something I did finish is, which it's a mess. It's not great because I just tried to like whip it out real quick. This tissue box cover. And I believe this is from Joann's. It's their party yarn, and this colorway is called Candy. All I did was single crochet, half double, double, single crochet, half double, double. Just kept going. And this was really quick. And it's like, you know, if you're a crocheter and you're somebody that crochets all the time, you just have the urge. It's hard to just sit there and not do something with your hands. So that's kind of, it's been a massive struggle. Not a massive struggle. In the beginning, I was tired most of the time. Let's be honest. If you've ever had a baby, you know, pretty much you're taking care of the baby or you're sleeping because he's too tired to do anything else. But I wanted to make something, and I kept staring, like right to the left of me, this little side table, and I was looking at this tissue box and looking at it and looking at it, and I was like, I'm gonna make a cover for this tissue box, and I did. Took almost no time at all. It was really easy to do. So this is something I actually finished. That's one FO. One. Now, something else that I wouldn't consider finished because it was really a fail, it wasn't really a finished object, is this little hat. I made this little hat for my baby, but it didn't fit. It's too shallow. So now, I don't know what it is. I'm probably just going to throw it away. Maybe I'll frog it and do something with a little bit of yarn, but probably not. I don't know if you want to consider this an FO. I think this is just nothing. But I'm trying to show you what has happened to my crochet craft in these last 3 months. And something like this is what happens when you don't really have time to measure properly. You're like, I'm just going to do it. It's a baby hat. Obviously, it's going to be fine. It was not fine. It was not fine. It wasn't fine. Okay. And something else that I barely got any done of. I bought this piece of strawberry fabric, which I don't have with me because that's not crochet. But I bought a piece of strawberry fabric. It's fleece that I was going to use as a background to take her baby pictures in the hospital. And we didn't even end up using it for that, but now it's just like this piece of fleece that they just keep grabbing. When I say they, I mean like my partner, my mom, and my roommate just use it as a blanket basically, which is fine, but it's just a cut piece of fabric. Now I do so I could just seam it up and call it a day, but I was like, well, why don't I make a nice crochet backing for it, because then that will give me something easy to do, and it'll really pretty, and it'll add some like density to the blanket, make it like a warmer blanket. So I did first, I don't remember what I did. I was doing something similar to what I'm about to show you, but I was doing more complicated stitches, and it was frustrating me because I was like, I'm gonna learn a new stitch real quick, and it just wasn't picking it up as fast as I wanted. So I frogged it all back, and now this is what I have so far. I really like these colors. Right now it's giving very almost fall, maybe a little summery. Let me see what I was doing here. So this is just 1 row double crochet, 1 row V-stitch. And the yarn that I'm using for this, I balled it all up, so I can't show you in the donut, but I'm using Happy Place from Hobie. I'm sure that most of you people know who Tony is from TL Yarn Crafts. This is her yarn that she came up with in partnership with Hobie. It is It is a 50-50 cotton wool blend. It is a it's a lightweight number 3, and they actually recommend a 5mm crochet hook, which is a little different, right? Usually they would recommend maybe like a 4 for a lightweight 3, but anyway. And 4mm knitting needles, and I'm pretty sure I went with the recommendation on this. I think I'm using a 5mm crochet hook. But yeah, it's really pretty, but I have gotten barely anything done because the blanket, so the piece of fleece is actually double this, so I was going to cut it in half and make 2 little blankets. So I think it's like 3 feet wide, so I'm not even close yet. So these 2 colors also are going to go in here, and I'm going to keep breaking it up and doing the cream and then the color, cream and then the color. But it's super pretty. I really like how they're working up. It's really nice yarn. And when it came out, first of all, I wanted to support Tony because she's one of those YouTubers that taught me so much, and I feel like I get so much from her, and it's like, oh my gosh, now I have a way that I can say thank you. So I wanted to buy the yarn, but it's also just really nice yarn, and I wanted it. So I bought a good amount, and then it was just sitting there. If I had something in mind when I bought it, I don't remember what it was. So I decided to use it for that. There you go. That's another UFO, unfinished object, or a whip. I hesitate to call it a whip because I'm not working on it right now. As you'll see, there are several other things that I've started. So that was one of the things I started pretty quickly coming out of the hospital. And it's been 3 months, and that's what it looks like now. So the next thing that I started pretty quickly coming out of the hospital was I wanted to do a temperature blanket for Babykarrot for her first year of life. I thought it would be really fun. And I thought that would be something small that I could do every day. It'll give me a little bit of crochet every day, and I can whip that out. No problem. Right? Right? No. Wrong. It's very wrong. So at first I had a ton of help, and it's not to say I don't have help now, but my mom was here for maybe the first couple of weeks full on. She was just at the house the whole time, and my partner was home for 6 weeks, and my roommate was home for some reason. I forget why she was home, but she was here. So it was like me, 3 other adults, and the tiny Babykarrot. And so somebody was always around, and I could crochet because everybody wants to hold the baby. But I've since kind of faltered on it, and I'm still working on it. That's not something I'm not going to give up on that. I would call this one is definitely a whip, but I'm far behind. Like I'm a whole month behind now. So for this, I am using, let me find a skein of yarn that's not so messy maybe. I'm using Premier Anti-Pilling Everyday DK. This is a lightweight number 3 as well. It's 100% anti-pilling acrylic. They recommend the 4mm crochet hook and a 4mm knitting needle. So I don't have all the colors here to show you because we haven't hit summer months. So this bag has like all of the colors that I would be using right now. And then the other ones are in a bag somewhere else. So this, so these are some of the winter colors. You'll see in the squares that I'm about to show you too. I just can't show. Maybe I'll do a separate video fully about like the blanket next time. And but I also, part of the reason I'm a little behind being that I picked something that easy that I could do every day. I didn't pick a lot of people when they do temperature blankets, you can do anything with temperature blankets, but like the typical blanket you see is just usually like a line of single crochet every day in the corresponding color. If you're not familiar with a temperature blanket, real quick, sorry, I told you I go on tangents. basically what you do is you segment temperatures. So like you do, like I live in the Northeast, so it gets pretty cold in the winter and pretty hot in the summer. I did 10-degree increments. So like from 0 degrees to 9 degrees would be one color, and then 10 degrees to 19 degrees would be another color, and so on and so forth. I think I had something like 12 colors. I picked a color for negative, like below 0, and it never happened. And while I'm happy it didn't get that cold, I am bummed out that I didn't get to use that color. So I'm sort of hoping it gets that cold in December. If that's something you should wish for, I don't know. But yeah, somebody online I saw said that they did, instead of doing, so I'm doing the high temperatures for the day. And somebody I saw online said that they were going to do the low temperatures in the winter. And then come spring, they were going to change to do the high temperatures, which I thought was a good idea because then you probably would get all the colors. But then it felt like dishonest somehow, which is a really strange feeling, because to who would care? No one would care. Do what you want. But anyway, I didn't pick the typical line by line single crochet thing. I decided each month was going to be a square, and then I would stitch them all together and have like a really nice blanket that I think in the end is going to be something like 4 by 5 feet, maybe a little bit bigger with the border. Probably, definitely bigger. Whatever, not important. But this is the first square that I completely finished for January. Isn't that pretty? But as you can see, and obviously my ends are not all sewn in, so is it done? I guess it's not. But it's not just a granny square or something that I can just keep going simple round and round and round and it'll be fine. No, like I have to, and it's not difficult, but I have to pay attention to where I am in the pattern. And I have to make sure that the count is correct. This is one of those things, like if you mess up the count, the next row is not going to work out. So that was January, and now this is February. Isn't that cool? I love seeing, let me see if I can get these both in. I love seeing how the color changes like that. Like you can see, right, that it was warmer because this really dark teal, it's not really teal, but this really dark blue color isn't here at all, right? So it was a much warmer month, and there's a lot more green, which is a warmer color. I think it's such a cool thing. I think it's going to be super pretty when it's done someday. I am still recording the temperature every day in my calendar, so when I have time I can just go and I'll have it ready. But this is not really done, but all of the days are done. So you know, there was 29 days in February this year, so there are 29 rounds. But then I'm gonna make all the squares have to be the same size, so I have to finish off I think there's like 2 or 3 more rows of the actual pattern that I'm gonna do in the cream color, and then around each square I was just doing 2 rows of single crochet, and then I'll join them in that cream color, and also the centers are that cream color. It's gonna be the same on all of them. But yeah, so that's what I have done, and I haven't done any of March yet, so I am officially, it's April 1st, so I'm officially a full month behind on that now, but I will finish it. Mostly just, it's one of those, like, I love that pattern, which, by the way, that pattern is the Doodad by Hooked on Sunshine. It's not, I think it's like it's like the middle square and then 1 round of the repeat. So pretty. I've actually made that blanket before as a baby blanket for a baby shower. And I actually used almost the same yarn. I used Premier's anti-pilling worsted, not the DK. If you're ever going to make a baby blanket, you know, you really shouldn't, you shouldn't, I guess you can do whatever you want. But again, I knew this before having the baby, but especially after having a baby. Babykarrot's my first. You want to make things as easy as possible for people. If you're going to make them a blanket, don't make them a blanket and wool, or really any animal fiber, or something like cotton might be okay, but you want to make it in something that they can wash. because if it gets dirty once and then they have to hand wash that thing, it's either not going to get washed for so long that, okay, now it's no good because the baby puked on this a month ago and I never got around to cleaning it. I'm going to have to throw it away. You know, or they're going to wash it once and be like, that was a pain in the butt, and then put it away, and then your blanket's never getting used. Or maybe, you know, a lot of babies have, maybe they'll have an allergy, but it might not even be an allergy. It might just be uncomfortable. You know, sometimes people don't like wool. Sometimes babies don't like wool. So all of that to just say that I think that an anti-pilling acrylic is a really good option, because baby stuff gets washed so often, and that yarn is going to hold up. It's not going to pill on you. You can wash it, or at least that's what they claim. I think it's 300 washes, which we'll probably get there one day with being baby stuff. But yeah, that would be my recommendation. If you're going to make something for a baby or a toddler, or even like an adult in your life that you know is a really messy person, then make it an anti-pilling acrylic. Okay, moving on. What else did I start? So, one of my first crochet projects, it was like my second. It was technically like, no, it wasn't technically. It was like my second project. The first project I ever made was a hat. And if I can, I'm sure I can find a picture. Maybe I'll put it in here. It didn't come out terrible, but I wanted to practice something before I moved on to the thing I wanted to make. That was the reason I learned to crochet. So I learned to crochet because before me and my partner were living together, or like just when we were seeing each other early on, I wanted to make him a blanket. And so I learned to crochet to make him a blanket. Now, maybe one day I'll show you this blanket. It's bad. It's a bad blanket. And I had commented on another blanket, a throw I made I didn't make it recently, but I commented on it recently. And I hate it. It's a really bad blanket. It's just ugly. I don't know what I was thinking with the colors. It's technically, it's finished because I just was like, I'm done with it. And I sewed in the ends and it's done and we use it. But it's really ugly. And he really likes it because it's very closed stitched. You know, it doesn't have a bunch of holes in it. So he really likes to wrap himself up, and he loves that blanket. He's like, this blanket's great. He's like, what about the other one? And I said, what other one? He's like, the one on our bed. It's terrible. And now I know that blanket's terrible, but he didn't need to say that. No, it is bad though. But so the blanket, it's on a king size bed. And originally, when I started making that blanket, I wanted it to be a throw that you could just use on the couch and cuddle up in. Now, I didn't know what I was doing, really. I don't remember. It's just double crochet. But this blanket fits on the king size bed. Now, one end of the blanket just fits. It's like fits perfectly snug. When I say snug, it's like it kind of wraps over. Again, I don't know what I did. Fits on one end of the bed. The other end, however, is literally, and I'm not exaggerating, it is double the width of the king size bed. It's massive. Like it could fit easily. That end would be on a California king, no problem, and it would still be hanging over the edges. It is ridiculous, and it's blanket yarn, burnout blanket yarn. It's so freaking heavy, so like washing it sucks. It's really warm in the winter, but the size is crazy. And it's also, it was like a striping blue, and then I used a variegated blue, so it was like stripes, variegated. And it's not very good looking, and it's ridiculously sized. So he's right, it's a terrible blanket. But it was like my first thing. And I think what happened, if I kind of remember, like I realized I missed stitches. And so instead of, when you're first learning to crochet, you have trouble seeing your stitches. You're not exactly sure what you're looking at. So I knew I missed stitches. And instead of going back and trying to figure out exactly how many stitches I missed, or I thought I counted, I'm honestly not sure. I just added stitches. Like the next row, I'd be like, I'm going to add 2 stitches every other stitch or so. I don't know. I'd have to go and examine it to know exactly what I did. I just know it's crazy. But, so now I've started a new blanket, and he doesn't know. So hopefully he doesn't watch this. I don't think he will. But I started a new blanket for our bed. to replace the ridiculously big one. Now, I really like having the blanket yarn on the bed because I like that it's heavy for winter. So, I mean, that blanket would be coming off the bed soon anyway. We'll be using it again probably next fall because it's starting to get warm here. So, I started a blanket, and I'm using Bernat blanket. What's this one called? Perfect Phasing. Now, as soon as I first saw this yarn, I'd walk by it in Joann's, and it's so pretty. I love it so much. So I'm using like every single color except I think there's like a grayish black one. I'm not doing that. And what I started to do is a corner to corner, which is new for me. I don't know if you heard that. Isn't it nice? It's so pretty. I love how it's like, I just had a brain fart. The ombre, I love how like the ombre works up on this thing. It's just lovely. And of course it hasn't been washed or really used or anything yet, so it's just so nice and soft. Now, I'm having a problem with, so you can see this corner, how lovely that fade is, how perfect that fade is. But now I'm up to the next color. It doesn't look bad. It's still fading and it looks nice. But I think that the further into the blanket I get, the less noticeable or the less effective that ombre is going to be, because it's getting more and more stretched out. You know, I think you know what I'm saying, because you can definitely see it happening already. So as much as I really don't want to undo this, I think I might. I think what I might do is unravel the whole thing and either do corner to quarter squares and stitch them together, or maybe just do like a regular like half double crochet blanket, like, which isn't exciting, but I don't think that this yarn is meant to be used in super exciting stitching. I think you're supposed to let the yarn kind of be the main event, right? So I don't know yet. I'm only 2 colors in, but I have time to decide, because like I said, he doesn't know about it, first of all. And second of all, we're pretty much going to be done with this big comfy warmness until fall. Yeah, what do you think? Do you have any recommendations? Have you used this yarn on a big scale? Do you know like a better option? Let me know. Okay, so that, I would say, for now, I'm considering that an unfinished object, because I haven't worked on it in a couple of weeks, and I might frog the whole thing back. So I can't say that I'm working on it, because it might never be worked on again. All right, what else? Let's see. Okay. So this, so that little hat I showed you that didn't work out, I also made another hat that again didn't work out, and I think I threw it away because I can't find it. But so that was a Karen cake and baby cakes, and the colorway was Candy Hearts. And now I just had this cake sitting next to my chair. I call it the baby chair because it's just, if you have the baby, you're probably in that chair. It was just sitting there on the floor next to me for like a month, and I was looking at it, and I was like, I had pulled out all of the purple and some of the pink for the hat that you did see, and then the one that I threw away was like purple, pink. So the like colors were taken out of it, and I didn't want to just throw it back in my stash because it was just not a complete cake and it looked bad, and I didn't want to have to worry about it. Look, I like the aesthetic of my nice yarn shelves. I don't want to say a wall because it's not a whole wall, but it looks nice, and I don't like something messing that up. But anyway, so this is very, 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 very close to being a finished object, but it's still a whip. So it's just a granny square. I just kept going round and round and round, and this will be used as a baby blanket for Babykarrot. So the only thing I have to do, I only have this much this much left, and this was from when I had tore out all the purple. I had this little ball left of it. So I think I already finished going around the whole thing once in single crochet. Yeah, I did. Just once. The purple for a border. And I don't feel super confident that it's going to make it around for another round of single crochet. So I might try, and if it does, then I'll do it. And if it doesn't, then this is it. It's going to be a finished baby blanket. And honestly, you can just never have too many blankets like this. Little blankets that you can just throw on them when they're in the car seat, or if they're just sitting on, like we have a swing for her, and you know, just something like that. It's easy to throw on her. So that's not going to go to waste. Now, the thing that I strangely am most proud of, you're ready for this. It's so impressive. Do you know what this is? It's knit. I knit. I know that you don't know this because this is only like my 3rd or 4th video or something ridiculous. Nobody knows me. But I don't knit. And I've had the same knitting needles now for 15 years or something like that. I went away with my friends. And it was definitely after high school, but it was my group of high school friends. And we went up to New Hampshire. And we live in Massachusetts. We went up to New Hampshire. My family has a place. And it was a terrible weekend. It rained the whole time. So my friend was with us, said, oh, well, it's raining. Why don't I just teach you all how to knit? So that's what we did all weekend. We went to Walmart and we all bought knitting needles and we bought yarn. And I think she taught us how to knit. I'm pretty sure by the end of that weekend I knew sort of what I was doing. And then I came home and I never knit again. And I never got rid of those knitting needles because I thought, what if I want to knit again one day? And then I will be like, why did I get rid of those knitting needles? And now here I am 5 years later, and I think about 5 years into being a crocheter, I wanted to learn. And so I watched one day, taking care of Babykarrot all day. I just watched all these knitting videos. And by the end of the day, I was like, you know what? I think I can do that. And so this is what I did. Now, it's obviously not perfect. I made a good amount of mistakes. And this is not, I didn't color change. This is all just one yarn. I think it's a loops and threads yarn. It definitely is a loops and threads yarn. It's just acrylic. It's an Aran weight. I don't remember exactly like which one of their yarns it is or what the colorway was. But yeah. So I messed up doing something up here. I think I was attempting to just do ribbing and it completely effed up. Excuse me, my possible language that will come out. But I messed it up. So I just cut the yarn and left it. And now it's just a swatch, sort of. A very strangely sized swatch. But I was like, I don't want to frog it completely, and I don't want to throw it away because it's like my first thing I ever knit. I can't get rid of it. Unfortunately, I was going to say like my crochet, I still have that blanket, but I'm pretty sure once I have a new blanket, we're going to get rid of that blanket. But, so... Sorry, my cats are distracting me. I was thinking, speaking of the cats, what I'm going to do, since this thing wants to roll up on itself anyway, I have some of these little bags, which this one has. This one's really pretty and it has my measuring tape in it, so not this one. But I've got a bunch of these little bags from when I order stitch markers. So I think I'm going to put some catnip in those bags, like maybe 2 or 3 of them, and then roll them up in this, and then just seam up this end and seam up the whole tube, and just throw it on the ground and let the cats go crazy, and they will. One of their favorite toys we got for free from some shelter at a I don't remember where we were, but it was free and they love it. It has catnip in it. It's just like it's a piece of fabric that they just tied up the catnip in and stitched it up. It almost looks like a little balloon. The cats are gonna love that. So I know that they'll use this, and then, I mean, it'll get destroyed, but I'll feel good that it went to some use. I was thinking just the tube, but do you think I should stitch it into like a little donut? Would that be more fun? I don't know. But I am very proud that I did this. It wasn't super hard, but it's just, if you knit and crochet, you know that they're different. And I do think that having like crochet knowledge helped me grasp the knitting. So it wasn't like I was completely unaware of what I was doing. I'm familiar a little bit. I think the last thing I have to show you is this. It's a sort of cardigan. None of the ends are sewn in, so there's a lot of ends. I'm sorry. It's not really a cardigan. It's like a lacy cardigan type situation. Let me see if I can get it straightened out. So I'm a avid watcher of Cinnamon Stitches on YouTube. Before I had baby, I watched her every day. Every day, like I was always caught up. The job that I had allowed me to do that though, so I knew what was going on every day with Cinnamon Stitches. And then after I had Babykarrot, I fell behind on all of my YouTube. Of course I did. I fell behind on life. Is not what this video is about a little bit. Now, she had what she does called Premiere Week, which you saw some of the yarn that I was using is by Premiere. And she'll release a video every day for that week with featuring a different yarn and a different pattern. She did a video. Oh my gosh. I can't remember what. It was some kind of poncho. I can't remember. I'm so sorry. I'll look it up and I'll put it up on the screen so I can let you know what the name of the pattern was. But anyway, it was like a shirt. And I didn't so much think I would wear the shirt, but I really liked how the stitch looked. And I also, from last year, she released a pattern called the Tulip Lace Cardigan. Why I remember that from last year and not the new one, I don't know. But that's just how my brain works. But she did this cardigan, and I really loved the construction of it. So basically, they take the circumference of the widest part of your body. For me, that would be my hips. So you like measure my hips, and then you start a panel that's the length of your hips. And then you keep crocheting up until you get to the point where you want to start the arms. And you basically break it up. So you have this little panel in the back, and then you work the two side panels, and then they're separate from the middle panel. That's probably not making sense, but it's a really cool construction. And I think that you can kind of take any stitch you want and apply it to that construction, and boom, you're good. So I took the stitch that she used from this year and the construction from the Tulip Lace Cardigan, and I made this. Now, this isn't done. This is definitely a work in progress. Isn't that pretty? I love this stitch. So it's almost a little bit like a vest right now. I only just started on the sleeve over here. Can you see me? Yeah. I love the color. It's very spring, summer. And I know that I will wear this all summer. As long as it's not like over 100 degrees, because who wants some, even this when it's that hot out. But I know that I'll just throw this on over stuff all spring and summer, provided that I finish it. But yeah, thanks Jen. Super pretty, super fun. Nice. So the yarn that I'm using for this, and I think it was the yarn she recommended, is Cotton Sprout from Premiere. Obviously it was Premiere Week. Cotton Sprout. I've already used 3 of these balls in that, and I'm like a size 2X right now. It's 100% cotton, and this is a DK weight. Let me see. I have a label. Do I have a label in here? No, I don't have a label in here. Let me see what it recommends. Recommends a 5mm crochet hook with a lightweight number 3. And a 4mm knitting needle. I think in her video for the pattern that she released this year with this stitch, I want to say that she did the worsted weight, not the DK weight. I don't know. I might be wrong. But I did the DK because, again, it's going to be hot. It's going to be summer. I thought something lighter would be good. And for this, I am using a 5.5mm crochet hook. So yeah, the reason I was able to get so much work done on that, my birthday just passed not that long ago, and everybody was like, what do you want for your birthday? What do you want to do for your birthday? And really, all I wanted to do was, so my partner had the day off, my roommate had the day off, and my mom said that she would come down here. So I said, all I want is for you all to watch the baby, watch Babykarrot, and I want to be upstairs crocheting and drinking wine. That's all I wanted. And that's what I did. So I got food from my favorite restaurant. I got there when they opened, which I found out during the week was 11 a.m. On the weekends, they open at 9. So I got food from my favorite place. They have a different special every week. Their special was pupusas, which we've never had a pupusa. So good. It's like a cornmeal dough that they take and they put it around whatever filling you want. So I don't eat meat, so mine had refried beans and vegan cheese, and it came with a dip and this coleslaw. I'm not describing it well, and it probably not making it sound great, but they're delicious. If you ever go somewhere and you see pupusas on the menu, you should order them. So I got those, and I got some vegan mozzarella sticks, and I came upstairs, I had my coffee, and then I started crocheting. And then I cracked, actually, I did not drink wine that day. I had these drinks that I call passion grenades. They're something I invented in my early 20s. And I say invented like it's some big deal. It's just an alcohol and a juice. But it's passion fruit rum and pomegranate juice. That's it. The reason that these are so amazing is half of your glass could be rum. And it doesn't taste like it. It just tastes like you're drinking juice. I don't know why. I don't know what the magic is with those flavors, but it's delicious. You just think you're having a nice pomegranate passion fruit juice. But so the rum that I used to get back again in my early 20s, I just turned 35, was by a company called Parrot Bay. I cannot find that rum. I haven't been able to find that rum in years. Not that I've looked extensively. I just never see it. So my best friend found, not that brand, but she found a passion fruit rum from Malibu. And it was in town, not like a million miles away, but I think she had to drive an hour away to get it. And I was like, you're being crazy. Don't do that. She's like, well, it's your birthday. So she got me the rum, and that's what I drank. I had rum, my juice, my passion grenades were so yummy. And I crocheted, and I was able to get that little cardigan done. Not done. I thought I'd be able to get it done. I've been crocheting now for about 5 years, which isn't that long compared to a lot of people. But I think it's long enough that I should now have some understanding of how long things are going to take me. And I do not. I never know. I can have some gauge with some things. But I thought I would finish that. And I just didn't. I probably got 75% of it done. And I wanted to be able to have it done for Easter because I was going to wear it on Easter. And I didn't finish it, so I wore something else, which was good because I ended up wearing a dress, and I don't really wear dresses very often. I buy them, but I don't wear them. So yeah. Yeah. Did you have a nice Easter if you celebrate? We had a lovely time. It was the first time in a lot of years that we actually got together because, my generation of cousins, all of us pretty much have kids now, so we thought it would be nice to get together for Easter again. It was a really nice time. Obviously, my little Babykarrot was too little to really hunt for Easter eggs, but she had a lot of fun outside. She walks. I was gonna say walking around on the grass. She doesn't really walk. We hold her, and she steps her little feet. She played with some bubbles, and she saw her little cousins, and she had a lot of fun, and it was a great time. And we used to always get together for Easter. And when we were kids, how it would work We have a massive Easter egg hunt. I have a pretty big family. My Nana had 9 kids who all had kids, and we're just as close with like my first cousins as I am with who I believe are like my second or third cousins. I always get confused of how like, are they my first cousins once removed, or are they my second cousins? I'm not sure. But so like my Nana's brother's family, you know, so like she had 9 kids, and then her brother had X amount of kids, and all of that family and my family, like we're all really close. So there's always a ton of people around. But we always used to get together for Easter, and there was a ton of kids, and we would go out for this big ass Easter egg hunt. And they would let the little kids, like they kind of separate us by age. So the little kids would go out and they get like, I don't know how much of a head start, but as a kid, it felt like a long time. And it did not feel fair because I was one of the older ones. So I felt like I was getting gypped. So what ended up happening before any of us had children, like when we were in our 20s or so, none of us had kids yet. And so the adults, when I say the adults, I mean like our parents, they still wanted to set up the Easter egg hunt. They wanted us to go out looking for eggs. Like, okay. Like we're in our 20s, and they have us lining up at the door like they did when we were children. So like my little brother and my cousin got to go out before us like they did when they were children, and a head start. I'm like, they're 20 and like 21 years old. This is bullshit. And listen, I don't really care because at first I didn't care. I didn't care at first because I was like, I think it's candy and eggs. But I mean, I cared a little bit just because the competitive part of you, right? You want to get the most eggs. And of course now we're adults, so they're hiding them better. Okay, but these weren't just regular Easter eggs. They were hiding nips in some of these eggs and money. So they made us like really want to go out there. And we didn't know that until we started finding some, and like somebody opened one and they were like, there's a nip in here, which if you're not, we call them nips where I'm from, but some people call them airplane bottles. I think like the little tiny bottles of alcohol. And there was cash. And then there were some fake ones. Like they put, you know, the eggs come apart and it was just like the top of the egg. They were just sitting on the ground and you thought you found an egg and you picked it up and it was only half an egg. But anyway, at that point I looked around and I said to my cousin, we need to start having children. This can't go on. They're going to keep making us do this. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It's a good memory. And we had a lot of fun this year. And now next year I said, my little Babykarrot, she's going to be one of the younger ones, if not the youngest. And she'll be only a little over a year old, so she won't be fully aware of why this is important. Not important. She won't be fully aware of like the concept of searching for eggs. But it's like we're gonna train her. So in those like 2 minutes head start, she's out there. She's gonna find all those eggs. But yeah. So I'm postpartum, and that's my crochet. And you know, I'm not really mad about it. I think I miss, obviously, all the free time I used to have that I could crochet and do whatever I wanted. But that's part of becoming a parent. And, you know, you figure out ways to sneak in the things that you enjoy doing. Like today. She's off with Nona, partners at work, and I'm here enjoying a glass of wine. And when I stop recording this video, I have a couple things I have to do, like kind of chores that are related to the baby, of course. But after that, I'm going to crochet. And what I'm not going to do is start something new. We're going to work on something that I just showed you. We're going to maybe we won't catch up on the temperature blanket, but maybe at least finish February. I don't know. But something that I already started is going to get worked on. Oh, something I didn't show you because I couldn't really show you because there's nothing to show you is the reason I wanted to start knitting. I really, really, really want to knit a pair of socks. And you can crochet socks, but if you've ever tried to crochet socks, I mean, maybe you won't agree with me, but in my opinion, the stitches are uncomfortable to step on. I don't like how it feels. And there's just the way that knitting works up. The way it's flat. It just lends itself better to having socks. So I really want to knit socks. So I bought a pair of, or set of whatever you call it, of circular knitting needles. And I have started and frogged socks at least 4 times. And when I say started, I mean like I got a couple rows in. But I bought really nice yarn to do it. And I think I'm afraid to let myself mess up. So I'm thinking maybe I'll grab something that's not so nice and I'll just do it. And then if I mess up, I won't feel like I've wasted this really nice yarn. But I shouldn't do that today, right? I should work on something that's actually started. I don't know what it is about being postpartum and having startitis. Startitis, if you've not heard of it, it's just like where you keep starting projects and you don't finish any of them. But if you're postpartum and you crochet, how have you been holding up? Have you finished anything? Have you started anything? Maybe your baby isn't so clean. Like my Babykarrot, she's very clingy. She likes to be held. She likes to sleep on us, which she's just started sleeping by herself. So, you know, coming up to a little bit of a better sleep schedule will probably lend itself to maybe a little bit more craft time. But what do you do? Are you able to do like have a baby in a carrier? Maybe you crochet. I tried doing that a couple times, which isn't the worst, but your arms get tired, right? Because the baby's here and you have your arms out and it doesn't last that long. But if you have any tips, that'd be great. I will say that Babykarrot does like to watch we have a really giant TV in our living room. If I put somebody on the screen that's like doing a tutorial and you can see their hands crocheting, she really loves watching that. And I don't know if it's the hands, if it's the colors, the movement, or all of it, but maybe she'll like to watch me crochet. I haven't actually tried that. Well, let me know what you're doing today. What are you working on? Again, any tips for crocheting with a baby? I hope you didn't click on this video looking for that, because I don't have any. I'm a mess. But that's what being a new parent or new mom, new dad, new caregiver, that's just what it is. You have a baby and you know now this tiny creature is in charge of your every move. And that's just how it's going to be forever. Because I feel like my mom still, a lot of what she does revolves around me and my brother still. Especially she recently retired in December and I had my baby in January, so now her whole world has just been about, I mean, less about me and more about her grandbaby. But yeah, it just keeps going, doesn't it? That's how life goes. Well, thanks for tuning in today. If you made it this far, I really appreciate it. It was a lot of ridiculous rambling and catching up. And I do feel like there are things that I probably forgot that I've not finished but started. Oh, I made a second tissue box cover at my mom's place for her, so I can't show it to you. Yeah, I will hopefully see you soon. Hopefully it's not as long in between for my next video as it was between this video and my last video, because I think it was many years ago. It's been great talking to you. I hope you enjoy your beverage of choice. I'm probably going to finish this glass, maybe have one more. And then I'll have some pasta and I'm going to crochet. It's going to be great. See you later. Bye.